Wow. Alright. Jesus. Alright. Hey everyone, Erin here, your hostess with the mostest, analyst, and welcome back to another episode of Becoming Me. This is my weekly vlog thing, and I'm really tired, and I feel like my voice is already whatever it's doing its thing, so yeah, we'll just see how this goes, shall we? Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about is HRT this week. And I didn't really notice like too much difference. There wasn't like pain in the chest, which that sort of thing will happen when I start like developing breast tissue. But when I was shaving my legs, it was really easy to cut them. And I know that when like your skin becomes thinner and softer, and it like bruises more easily. So like while in the past I might have been really harsh and like really pushed down on the razor when I was doing it before, now I have to do a much lighter touch, or I'm just gonna scar up my whole legs, which I totally did. Another thing that I did this week was I got my nails done. And that made me realize something about the way that I sort of handle myself outside and interact with the real world. And it's like I can dress them, and I can even have like breasts that aren't that big and things like that, and people will still kind of be ambiguous maybe, or they'll just assume that like I'm a woman because I am, but maybe I don't look like one. Speaking of not looking like a woman, I was gonna shave and try and do like my foundation at least a little bit, but I shaved this morning for my work and it hasn't grown back enough to shave again, but it's grown back enough to be a nuisance. So yeah, I apologize for the shadow and the stubble that I got going on here. Anyway, what was I talking about? Nails and things, yes. I was at, I think, an Arby's, and the cashier lady was like, "Oh, I love your nails." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." But, like, it reminded me that on Twitter, there was a tweet a while ago, and people were like, covertly how you are telling a trans person, "Hey, by the way, I'm an ally." Basically, I guess the code is, "Oh, your hair is very nice," or something like that. And I wonder if nails are like the same thing. And it's just like, having colored nails is a little bit more like not seen as a masculine or just a male gendered thing. And so when people see that, they would see female or feminine or woman, but then like the rest of me might not tell them that, so then they're like conflicted. And why that's like so important is I go through drive-thrus a lot, and if it's certain things, like I'll go in if I'm like walking into a Chipotle or something, and I'll just take my bra and push it down so that I have a gut instead. But I was nervous to do that this time because of my nails, and I don't know, I mean, this isn't really all that manly of a jacket anyway. But that's because more early on in my transition, I tried to use my voice at like the drive-thru, and I had mixed results, and had a little bit of trauma from a bad experience. So now, at least until I really start to look like a woman, I don't even bother. I just go ahead and do my old voice and just whatever. So, and that's just something I was thinking about. Like, maybe if I do my hair all pretty, then that's like another cue. Like, just another thing that's like more traditionally seen as feminine. Then it pushes people's opinion more towards, oh, they're a woman, they're female, they're this, they're that. But without actually talking to a person and like knowing them, really, you shouldn't prejudge people like that. It's not that hard to just, well, in some cases it might be. But you can always apologize later, and that's why pronouns are important. But like, you don't have to say sir just because someone sounds a bit more masculine, or ma'am because they don't. And I think it's just probably best for everyone that it's just not a thing to worry about. Like, an example of that, geez, there's one topic, and I'm going off of that, I guess, well, everything's really short, but, I mean, my list this week, which, I forgot to say that it was up, so it's came and gone, but, yeah, not a whole lot of topics, that I could think of, and part of that is just because, like, life moves so fast, and I forgot to put down notes at the end of each day, so I had more content to, like, talk about for this vlog. But, yeah, like, especially in drive-thrus, you don't really need to say, okay, go ahead and pull up to the second window, sir. You can just say, go ahead and pull up to the second window, because I already know you're talking to me. You don't have to say sir. I'm not entirely sure where I was going with some of that. And I feel bad too now, because I'm sure there was more to this, and I can't seem to think about it. But I guess I'll go into the next topic. So, yeah. Okay, with this next topic, I'm gonna be reading something verbatim from a tweet. And, honestly, this was kind of one of the more tame tweets that I saw this week, and I just didn't think to like pull up the other ones. So maybe I'll have to make that like its own separate video or something as like a commentary on bigotry and stuff. And this, I think, is really important to me because like I often think without fully processing the words that I'm using. And that's something that people have also pointed out to me in the past. Like, I'll say something and I mean it a certain way, but because of the word choice I use, it actually comes out a way I don't intend. But after transitioning and seeing a lot of how other people talk, it's made me kind of notice specific word choice things in the matter of like bigotry and stuff. And this, like, what this person said just made me really sad in general, for people and for myself. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Okay, so it's like, I guess, a mother talking. And she says, "As my husband says, and I agree," in quotations, "this might be worse than if our child died. Yes, it might be. We would be completely devastated if our child died. But at least nothing else bad could happen to our kid. Our child is signing up for a life of misery, poor health, being at the mercy of false friends, poverty, employment struggles, and probably a lack of an intimate partner. Not to mention cutting all ties with the only people who love them unconditionally, because the ideology demands we be cut off. All for an idea or a feeling that exists in people's minds." Wow. There is so much, like, landminey, just hate and vitriol that's come out of that. So this person is, I guess, maybe in this context, not subservient to her husband, but like, because there are women out there I know that just do whatever their husband tells them to do. And I've heard about that a lot with like mostly conservative women. But here she's agreeing that being trans is worse than if the person was dead. And it's because of them. They try to paint it like it's because of all these things that their child is going to have to go through. And that is bad stuff, and no one should really have to go through it, but I'm going to get to it. Okay, so they would be devastated if they lost their child, but then they wouldn't have to worry about like all the bad stuff in the world. And child is signing up for misery. One, gender euphoria is a thing. A person that's trans is going to be way more miserable no matter like the conditions that their life is in, pre-transition than post. Poor health. Okay, this one doesn't even make sense. Like, there's so much just ignorance going on here. As for myself, and I can't speak for everyone, but I focus a lot on my appearance and things like that. Before, I wasn't aware of being transgender, I didn't care about what I put in my body. I didn't try to exercise. I didn't care about any of that. And now that I do, I actually have a reason to like want to be better to myself. And like HRT reduces the chance of prostate cancer and has no evidence for increasing the chance of breast cancer. And like just being happier and having like better lifestyle choices leads to better health. So like, geez, like that makes no sense why automatically they have poor health because they're trans and they're going to be their true selves. Okay, this next one I don't know, I haven't even really thought about it until just now, so I'm going to think about it when I start talking. Like I said before, I kind of just talk and then don't realize what I'm saying until after it's out there. So I need to work on that. Okay, so being at the mercy of false friends. And as opposed to like real friends. Friends that are your friends because of things that maybe aren't real to yourself. Or like, I really don't know this one, in all honesty. But why would people pretend to be your friends if you're a marginalized like group that most people really dislike? It doesn't fully make sense. And like, if you're gonna play the angle of like, I want to puff myself up like I'm a good person, like I know a lot of Christians do, and look out for this less fortunate person that's being persecuted by society, just so I can say, oh, I'm a good person. But then, like, why are you thinking like that in the first place? I just don't understand it. Poverty. Okay. That is a big one. Yes, that can definitely have a pretty big effect on being trans, because suddenly there's a lot more medical bills and just I guess hurdles to go through many like normal day-to-day things that I had taken for granted before being trans. I know a lot of people are in really bad places, like with their employment or with their lives and things like that. I feel really awful for that, and I try to help when I can and boost like awareness and keep them motivated and like encourage them, because everyone is just so great, and it's weird, it's like overwhelming to just think about for me now. And as for myself, I've definitely been really lucky with a lot of the things that I've been going through. As far as like employment and mostly employment, I guess. Which goes into next one, employment struggles, yay. So, yeah, this actually does touch on something I think that happened this week, so it's fitting to be here. I want to be a game designer when I grow up, and, oh Jesus, this vlog's gonna be long, I didn't realize. Anyway, Yeah, I guess I'll have to speed on through. Yeah. There was, this one person who apparently had worked about 20 years in the game industry and worked on various things, and they transitioned. Their talent didn't change, maybe even improve, because they're like more clear on who they are and are able to show that. Probably, like medical things might have changed and things like that. But they explained how, like, they were having people flying them out for interviews to, like, help work at different studios and things like that when they were a man. And now that they're a woman, they have a hard time even getting, like, to the interview step. Like, people just see it and they're like, oh, I don't want to touch that. And it's not just trans women, it's also cis women. And it's because, like, even though there's so much, or there's like a projected push to be more inclusive and diverse in, like, the industry, it's not actually being put into practice for the most part. At least not on the higher up level, which are the ones that control those things. It's like, oh, we need more diversity in our workforce, so let's go hire that black person and then we'll be good. And that's it. And they don't need to, like, just have their name on the thing and that's it. Oh, wow, there was another really bad. I'm gonna wait to drink until I'm done recording this segment, which is gonna get long. Alright, I'm just needing to get through this. So, probably lack of an intimate partner. Okay, no, I think that a lot of people don't really focus on genitals when it comes to love and relationships and things like that. And even when they do, like, there's plenty of people that are out there that are bisexual, or even, like, just straight, depending on, like, things. And because, like, so many trans people are seeking affection and have been denied it and denied any kind of, like, I guess, physical acceptance of who they really are, by others, that they are much more open and willing to be that for people. At least that's what I've noticed about myself. And I know a lot of trans girls that are polyamorous and have several, like, trans girlfriends. And yeah, like, nothing is delegitimizing their relationships, and, like, I don't understand why, like, people just think, I guess, that, oh, these people anyway, they think that trans people are freaks of nature, and no one's gonna want to be around them, no one's gonna want to actually support them, no one's gonna want to love them. Which isn't true, but when you're in, like, these circles, it seems that way, and they perpetuate it and stuff. But this is the one that made me bring up this whole thing all in the big time. Not to mention cutting off ties with the only people who love unconditionally. Except that they have listed a lot of their conditions. And it's like, there are two ways to go about this. You can be like, oh, my kid is trans. Woe is me. I need to suppress that. I need to take them to conversion therapy to fix them. They need to be like, know all of the pain and everything that they're gonna go through. Or you can support them, love them for who they are, spread awareness, like be a part of like the positive aspect of their life. The reason they say because the ideology demands we be cut off is because so many people are unsupportive of their family members when they are transgender, that the only thing that that person can actually do for their own health and safety is like abandon those people or get away from them, because in a lot of cases it's just a toxic environment that's only going to lead to their own death. So yeah. Oh, and this last part's just awful. All for an idea or a feeling that exists only in people's minds. Okay, well, like, it's not an illusion or imaginary thing. Like, it's actually a part of our brain. And that's been studied upon and also proven. So, oh yeah, I'm sure you guys haven't looked that up or anything. But yeah, they did a study and they found that transgender people have brain patterns and things like that, like the chemical makeup of their brain matches the gender that they are presenting as, or as they truly are. Whereas, like, people, I guess, just expected them to have the same kind of brain outlook thingy as someone who is cis, who was also assigned the same thing at birth. I hope that's not getting too confusing. I apologize. Alright. Ooh. I definitely need a drink. Because this last one's, well, next to last one's gonna be pretty long. Wow. I wanted to do a long form after this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Okay. Since this is already getting really long, and I thought this was gonna be the long part, I need to be careful. I'm just gonna like go through it and try to point out things that are important as I'm doing it. So I had a dream this week, and a lot of my dreams are kind of more mundane, but there was enough like little tiny interesting things that had to do with myself and my my gender that I wanted to share it. And before I get into it, it ends on kind of a cliffhanger. So, yeah. Anyway, I was having a dream about working. That's how a lot of my dreams are, sadly. And I was working at like this really remote place, and they were kind of having like a festival or something. And there was, I guess, like a weird deal going on about escorts giving like handouts to people as part of the festival. And it was weird, but I I finished my work early and I tried to join like the festivities. And then I couldn't actually do that. They turned me away because I was trans. Which is funny considering what I had just said like a few minutes ago. But then they were talking about more activities that were coming up. And at this point, I'm just trying to remember the pieces because I don't really remember it all that well. But then there was a larger kind of gathering or event that was going to happen. And I came back when I wasn't working. And I somehow found myself among like refugees or something in like a basement that no one can escape. But I had previously found a way to escape somehow. It was weird. Anyway, they gave me like this weird pastry thing, and then we escaped. And I remember some of the things I remember very vividly are very, very stupid. Like how after like escaping and like sort of climbing down part of a mountain, there was like a timed like cart that was going by on what's it called? Some kind of support system. And when you are in a certain position and then just like jump backwards as like a trust fall kind of thing, you'll land on it at the right timing, and then it'll take you to where you're not trapped anymore. So we did that, and then I was trying to cross this walkway where there was like a parade happening, and I was nervous and skittish because a lot of times when I need to make like a split-second decision, I always hesitate and I stop, and that's just kind of a thing I do. And it sometimes causes problems. In this case, I did that, and then I kind of was a little bit too close and also in front of the parade people, and then I had to kind of like bob and weave and apologize for disrupting it. But the real like point of the dream is coming up. Sorry, that was all kind of fluff, I guess. So I met up with a couple of my old friends from before I transitioned, and we went to like this big convention hall thing. It was like a mall that was rented out for the event. And I remember that like apparently Snoop Dogg was there with his posse, and they like took up all of the theater spaces for whatever reason. And they were really tall, and I remember walking by them. And I was wearing like just a really big white shirt, kind of like Tom Cruise in Risky Business, I think. That one famous scene, because I've never seen that movie. Sorry. Anyway, I was wearing that, so it was kind of like a lost little sheep or something. And I was going with my friends to try and find like activities and events to do, and we went through like different corridors, and like people generally kind of didn't take interest in us. And then there was one room in particular that had a couple of different catwalks. And there were two catwalks that kind of connected and then led into this room. And I started going down one, and they started going down another, and bumped into like this person. And they were really friendly, and they started hitting it off like pretty much right away. And then I noticed, so I like kind of went and like started to follow them into the next room. And it was one of those like almost movie moments where it's like, hey guys, what are you? Because like everyone was happy without me. And in fact, I felt more like I was being a burden to my friends. Had I like joined in, then it would only make things worse and only disrupt it for them. So I decided to leave. And before I fully left like the corridor with the catwalks, like I noticed that they weren't looking for me. They weren't wondering where I was or anything like that. So I just kind of like wandered around for a while. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but I really wanted to like make friends and talk to people and even find like someone to love up on a little bit. And then I sort of stumbled into this like social lounge place, and once again like I was really skittish and nervous, and I was about to just go through like the area and then go to like the next room and stuff. And then like there was this person that called out to me, and it was kind of weird, and I had like one of those moments like, what, me? And then sorry if my voice is really bad. And then I approached them, and it was this kind of shy, nervous, cute guy that was sitting with his two friends. And I gathered from everything about like this dream and stuff that they were his support system, and he was trying to like look for somebody to hook up with and stuff. And oh, that was my phone. I forgot to mute it. Hopefully my wife doesn't call, and I'll have to do the recording or whatever. But anyway, so like I sat down and I was kind of talking to them, and it was him, his friend, who is a girl that was kind of more like protective-y and taking charge and giving him advice and things like that. And then his other friend, who was kind of like, you know, I'm here, but I don't really care what's happening. I'm just gonna be here. And he was very like critical, asking like really personal questions of me and stuff. And for some reason in this dream, they were like, it was almost kind of like Death Note vision. I could see above their heads like a whiteboard that was kind of illustrating what their thoughts are. So that helped me with like kind of processing the conversation and being able to be like more into it and stuff. And so I asked a couple questions. We started talking, I think, about mainly anime. And I was really enjoying myself and talking to them, and I really liked this guy. And then at one point, I saw like his eyes kind of shift, and I noticed on the whiteboard he had noticed my Adam's apple and how large it is, and that made him scared, and he didn't know what to do, so he was trying to call like his friend who was the girl for help. And I noticed this, and I was really like happy to be a part of like the conversation with them. And like, I mean, being there with them helped make me feel better at being at that convention or whatever. And I didn't want to ruin or drag out like anything either, so I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do. But I thanked them for like talking to me and things like that, and I asked the girl if I could talk to her for a second, like pull her aside kind of thing, away from the rest of them. And I was going to explain that I'm trans, and I'm not sure what was going to happen then, but after she agreed to go step outside a little bit to talk to me, then I woke up. So that's the end of the dream. And I think it really just kind of like, because dreams are what you're thinking, it was an amplification of a lot of my own doubts, worries, concerns, and fears about being more socially open as a trans person. Because I haven't really done that like in real life. The only place I interact in real life is work. And I also went to like a transgender support group for a while. And I want to go back, but right now my schedule does not allow it. Ugh. God, my voice is awful. No, I can't do my long form today. Damn it. Alright, so, my voice really sounds like it's falling apart. And it sucks that I can't really record except at the wee early hours of the day. Or late at night, however you want to look at it. Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to overwork myself. I'm gonna be okay, my voice is gonna be ready to do the vlog, I'm gonna be good. And it sounds great. Then I drive home, I do other things, then it's several hours later, I'm exhausted, I'm super tired, and now I'm trying to record my vlog. So it takes a lot of like control and just muscle strength to really do this well. So after doing it for so much and so long, like it just, yeah. Anyway, that's not entirely what the prompt is about. What that is something that I'm gonna do a more long form discussion thing about, if it happens. I was thinking about it for the past couple of days, and it's something that affects my identity. It doesn't affect like my the fact that I'm transgender, but it it definitely is a part of that, at least as it is right now. And I'm going to talk to my therapist, who I'm going to see on Monday, about it before I do anything like that. And just to like kind of talk about a couple other things real quick. I have been working a lot, and the little time that I have off, I usually am trying to do this or that, and haven't had a lot of time to work on my YouTube. So I apologize that I put in like my my holiday special video that all these things were coming soon, but time is really just not with me on this. A big part of that is I want to make custom drawing thumbnails or animated things for them before I make them, but I'm not very good at drawing, and it takes a long time, and I usually don't have time to do it. But I would say more of what I'm planning to do, I think, once I have the drawings done so I can actually record, is my next official Let's Play after Undertale, my first nostalgia dip, and also the game challenge. As for the prompts, I'm not sure what I want to do as far as like the visuals go. I think I might just play like just video that I have of various games I played. So that's what I might do. And I have so many other things I'm trying to plan to do, like other long form videos. What I will say is the next long form video I want to be that I actually had said that I was going to start working on like weeks ago was about slurs, in particular like a really toxic culture thing that surrounds trans people. And then another thing I was going to talk about was my feelings about polyamorous relationships. Then third one was going to be like how to deal with bigotry. Like, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of subtopics with that one to go through. I'm fairly new to it, and I don't, know if I have a clear idea of what I should be doing. But it's just my thoughts, pretty much. And then the fourth one was the thing I mentioned that I've been thinking about the last couple of days, and what that like means. And truthfully, it won't change who I am. At least I don't think it will. And like everything will pretty much be like how it is right now. But it's definitely something that's important to me that I want to talk about and find more information about and things like that. And then of course the the gender tag project video that Ashley of Cabitude Gaming was so nice to show to me. And I think it's a really cool idea, and it's not reserved to like just LGBT people. Like if you're, you know, a cisgendered hetero person, like what does that mean to you? And that's part of why, like, I know that I'm trans, is I thought about my own gender and my expression of my gender and what that means. And I think that it's a good thing that if you are a cis, that, you know, why are you cis? I don't think it should be something that you just take for granted or accept as just being a thing without understanding, like, why it is, so you can actually appreciate the things that really sort of shape your identity. Oh, okay. My poor voice. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's the end of this week's vlog. So, I think it went really long this time, and I apologize. And if you stayed till the end, oh boy, thank you, you're a real sweetheart. And take care, everybody. Bye.